Been training people a long time, and I'm at the gym 7 days a week, and I see the same people there 6 days a week, and you know what I don't see? Change. Do you know why? No recovery, no gains. When it comes to your body's ability to recover, sleep is the #1 thing you need to be concerned about. You have got to be able to get some sleep so your body can recover. Why? Because if your body's not recovering, you're not going to make any gains. So let's get started into sleep. I speak to a lot of men and women about their sleep patterns, and an overwhelming majority of them tell me that they don't sleep well or they just don't get enough sleep. This is a major factor for your body's ability to create muscle protein synthesis. I did a video about sleep, and I will pin it right here for you to watch at a later time. So how does sleep affect your body's ability to recover and make gains? That's a really good question. So your body goes through multiple sleep cycles, and they're usually like 90-minute cycles. And during the earlier phases of these cycles, your body creates what they call pulses of growth hormone. And it is in these early phases of these cycles where your body's secreting growth hormone. So if you get a really good night's rest, you should have at least 4 cycles. So if you're not sleeping well, if you're constantly waking up, then your body's probably not producing the amount of growth hormone that you would really like it to have. And if you're trying to make gains, that's not a good thing. So here is an illustration that shows what a sleep cycle is like. When each one of these cycles has a REM phase, and during these REM phases, that's also when your body's transferring memories from short-term to long-term memory, and a lot of creative thought process comes out through this REM cycle sleep. So it's not just getting the growth hormone, it's also your body's ability to repair and do all the mental things that it needs to do as well. So I'll quickly go over some suggestions that might help you sleep well, or at least get to sleep and stay asleep. First of all, the room should be really dark. It should be below 68 degrees. I would suggest you have high quality sheets. That really does make a difference. If your room isn't completely dark, try a sleep mask. Drugs and medications that are natural that work are melatonin to help get you asleep, magnesium, which was an early form of an antidepressant, which will help calm down your brain. You should take it before bedtime with your melatonin. If you have no trouble falling asleep, but your issue is staying asleep, then I would get extended release melatonin. And I also find that GABA works really well. You can get all these products at the vitamin store. So do your very best to try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And if you need to take power naps during the day and you have the ability to do that, then I would go for it. Stress is a major factor that will limit your gains. Why? Well, first off, stress releases a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol, one of the things it does is it assists with muscle protein breakdown. So if you spend the majority of your day super stressed out, then you are going to have a hard time recovering, and you're probably going to be producing more muscle protein breakdown than muscle protein synthesis. I've talked to people who they go to work and they have a really stressful job, and then they go home and they go home to a bad home environment, and they're just stressed all the time. And it's really hard to make gains when you're that stressed. It's kind of like trying to out-work out a bad diet. With stress, you're throwing off the balance of muscle protein synthesis and muscle protein breakdown. So this is just one of the contributing factors that prevents your body from growing or responding the way that you want. You need to find ways to limit your stress, whether it be mindful meditation, just going outside for a good walk, but try to find ways that will help you drop your stress level. You know, maybe you need to look at things differently. You know, let's say you have a problem and you have to say to yourself, in the perspective of things, how big is this of a problem is this? You know, if you're losing your job, of course, that's a really big problem, or you're breaking up with your wife, you know, your children are in trouble. Yeah, you're going to be stressed out about this. But, you know, if you're stressing out because you only got one scoop of protein or you missed a meal, then you need to reprioritize what is stressful. If you compete, stress is even worse. You know, I'm a little over a week out from a show, and you don't want to be at the show just stressed out of your mind. It will make your body retain water. It's really important to find ways to relax and calm down, just go with the flow and do the best that you can. Reducing stress is a big way to help your body recover. If you're enjoying this content, I really would appreciate it if you would hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. This really helps the algorithm. It helps my channel grow. And it helps me, you know, afford to do these videos. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Masters Muscle. Overtraining is another factor that limits your recovery. So I recently did a video about overtraining, and I'm going to put a link to it right there. Hopefully that will work. But let's talk about how overtraining or aspects of overtraining are going to limit your recovery, which in turn are going to limit your gains. There are two types of fatigue that we're going to be talking about: peripheral fatigue and central nervous system fatigue. So first, let's talk about peripheral fatigue. Now, this is muscular fatigue. This comes from high volume training too many days a week, you know, just training, and not giving yourself a break. And this will take a toll on your recovery, which in turn will prevent you making gains. So when your muscles are constantly under load, they just get to a point where they are exhausted. And you'll start to notice how your workouts are changing, or how that exercise is changing, because you're just not being able to do the exercise as well as you used to. So let's say your top set of bench press is 225, and you can usually do it for 8 to 10 reps. Well, the following week you get on that bench and, oh my God, 225, you know, for 5 is feeling heavy, you know, and it continues that way. This is a sure sign that your body is suffering from peripheral fatigue. So if you look across your logbook, which I hope you're recording your workouts, then you should see that the load that you're pushing, the reps that you're pushing are either going down or plateauing. It's because your body has not had a chance to recover. When it comes to central nervous system fatigue, one of the ways that shows up is that there is a signal that's sent from your brain to the muscle, and when that signal size or power behind it starts to drop, it's not going to recruit as many muscle fibers as it normally would. And this is a sign that your central nervous system is just shot. High reps create a lot of central nervous system fatigue. Brad Schoenfield did a groundbreaking research on this. You know, he showed that, you know, high reps to failure can produce the same type of results as hypertrophy or really close, but the problem is it creates a lot of central nervous system fatigue, and you have to be able to break past that barrier of the lactic acid and push through that burn until the muscle actually fatigues out and fails. These really high rep workouts are called pump and fluff. Now, me personally, I would never want to have a day where I've got to do 50, 35, 25 reps in sets, man. I would just go freaking crazy. That's no fun for me. But this creates a lot of CNS fatigue, and you know, it might be fine for a short stretch, but it is not a good idea for a long-term training goal. Not resting for enough time between sets will also fry your nervous system. I see guys out there who have their 30-second or 1-minute clock on, and bam, they do their set, break 1 minute, do the set, wait 1 minute, do the set. And after a while, this is really going to wear on your body. This might be okay for working forearms, biceps, maybe triceps, but you can't do that for working big muscles like your chest and your back or doing squats. You need about 3 minutes between sets so your body can reset and your ATP reserves can get back to where they should be so that you can really push that load. And this is going to make your body not recover, and that's recovery is what creates gains. So think about it. What do you want? Are you here for the gains, or are you just here to be here? If you are a beginner lifter and you're doing a lot of, or intermediate could be too, you do a lot of compound motions, deadlifts, squatting, military press, benching, with barbells. These recruit a lot of motor neuron units, and this is also going to create a lot of central nervous system fatigue. So it's especially important that you rest and you get these rest days so your nervous system can recover. And when you recover, your muscles can grow, and we have more protein synthesis than we have muscle protein breakdown. You'll notice that the amount that you're pushing or pulling, the number of reps, and your motivation will plateau and drop. And this is a classic sign of central nervous system fatigue. I know there are a lot of people at a gym who are just here just to have fun, just to work out, to be with their friends, and they really enjoy what they do. So if you are here coming to the gym, working hard, then you need to allow your body to recover. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you have to let your body rest in order to grow. You're actually going to do a lot better with less days in the gym and more recovery time than you will just putting on the load, putting on the load, putting on the load. There is lots of documented proof about this. Do your research, and you will see this for yourself. Nutrition plays a huge role in your recovery, and you need to make sure that you're getting enough proteins, carbohydrates, and fats to help your body recover. If you're working out 5-6 days a week and you're doing cardio, and maybe on that last day you're playing some basketball with your friends, you have got to make sure that you're getting enough calories to cover all that work. Now, if you want to add muscle, then you're going to have to be in caloric surplus. So you need to take a very hard look to make sure that you are not in caloric deficit or just barely keeping up. When it comes to nutrition, most people know that if I'm really working out hard and I'm not getting enough energy, then they know that, okay, I need to eat some more carbohydrates. So that's the easy part. What the problem is that most people don't realize how much protein you need to grow muscle. If you take a protein supplement, I highly recommend that you use Old School Labs Vintage Brawn. My favorite flavor is the dark chocolate. I really love it. So if you use my code MASTERSMUSCLE, you'll get 15% off. Nutrient timing plays a huge role in how well your workouts are going to go. If you like to work out early in the morning and you're working out fasted and your ass is dragging, it's because you do not have enough glycogen in your system built up from the night before. So it is really important that you add in those carbohydrates the night before and you get some fat-stacking fats in your system before you start your workout in the morning. And make sure that you have some type of carb that's in your intra-workout drink along with your essential amino acids. Think very carefully about what you're eating and when it comes to your workouts. Social media offers a lot of good things, but it also offers too much information. Honestly, you need to be very careful about who you listen to when it comes to nutrition. You want to make sure that whoever you are listening to, they are actually formally educated and they have experience in the field. Registered dietitians certainly know what they're doing, but they primarily work with diabetic patients, and they usually don't get a lot of experience with people who are working out hard and want to make gains. And then you have people who have degrees in sports nutrition like myself, members of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Don't trust somebody when it comes to nutrition just because they're a fitness influencer. Yeah, maybe something worked for them, but they don't know your body's history, and that's what makes the difference. Just listening to what somebody else did, and they have no idea how your body works when it comes to your sleep, your stress, your blood sugar levels, sex hormone levels, your genetics, your hydration, your workout style. They cannot design a good nutrition program for you because they don't know that information. That's why you need to talk to people who do this for a living.